Good morning from Stone Beach. Low tide. There's Alice. Came out here to watch the sunset. Excuse me, sunrise. Jeez, always catching myself. I woke up early at 5:30 and I was just bouncing out of bed. I'm watching a surfer out here. I don't know if you can see him in the distance. I saw him paddle out there. If you saw the last video, then you know how much rougher it was. This was yesterday. And it's just so peaceful out here right now. I'm just gonna allow my thoughts to just kind of come as they do. So if I'm silent, that's because, as Eckhart Tolle says, or is it Eggart? I really need to figure this out. I'm gonna do what he does, and the good thing is I'm not doing it on a stage, so that is much more helpful. So if I'm not talking, it's because I don't know what to say. You know, I think I'm finding my voice. You know, I only used to be able to find my voice on paper, and that's because I could do it in the middle of the night, when everybody was sleeping, and you know, as a writer, you can edit and edit and edit, and you can burn. So you can't do that when you're speaking, and I think that with my choice of becoming a nanny, I did it because I loved it, not because I couldn't do other things in this world. But I fell in love with children, and I know why. You know, they come into this world just pure soul, and they're fun to be around. You know, they don't judge you, and they teach you. They teach you a lot more than adults do about life and about living in the moment, about learning new things, about falling down and getting up, about getting too tired and having to take a nap before you have a tantrum. Yep, definitely need to learn that one. You know, I could go on and on, but the most beautiful thing that kids teach us is that we are not labels. We are not our jobs. We are not our weaknesses. I no longer label myself. We are not our diseases. We are not our money. We are not our social standing. You know, I think that we've lived in a world that has, you know, what you do becomes a very important and social status. You know, I think we've forgotten to look past and see into the heart of a person. And I was an active alcoholic. You won't hear me refer to myself as an alcoholic anymore. I don't drink. We'll leave it at that. And I have no reason to, nor do I want to, because once you've experienced an awakening, there's nothing like it. And when you're drinking or drugging or addicted to work or addicted to making money or addicted to whatever, we all have our addictions based on the contrast we feel inside. And watching kids grow up, you can see, as they get older, that the conditioning starts to come in, and it's sad to see them start identifying. That is not something that I knew then. It's something that I have learned, and we're all learning, because the energy is changing, and it's not about the past anymore. It's not about going back and reliving and trying to get to the bottom of something you're never going to get to the bottom of, because you can't get in somebody else's head or experience. You are judging from your own perception, no matter what the circumstances are, and that is where I used to be very judgmental. I catch myself these days, because I'm not perfect, and there is no, I just hit the jackpot, I'm enlightened, I no longer make mistakes, or I no longer will feel anger at times. I no longer will just hit the floor in tears and have, a tantrum over something. Far and fewer between, grounded, and still me, still Kelly there, without being confused about which dimension she is in. It's part, it's just part of learning. There's contrast, and I've learned a lot of this from Abraham Hicks. It's the law of attraction is a powerful thing, and it's really, really, really getting stronger. And once you learn to use it, you can make any of your dreams come true. And it essentially is about your thinking patterns and where you stand on the vibrational scale. And what that means is, the lowest vibration, I think she says, is despair. And then we work our way up. It's kind of like a grief cycle, the closest thing I can relate it to. We work our way up, there's fear, there's anger, there's rage, there's revenge, which I was shocked to hear was a higher vibrational emotion than anger or rage, because that's the point at which you're starting to take your power back. And once you do that, and you start thinking a little clearer, then you start getting into the next stage of forgiveness and yourself, and on up to hope and peace and joy. And laughter is the highest, besides the orgasm. Those are Abraham Hicks' words, not mine, where you release, all that pent up, whatever, she calls it resistance. I'm learning new language, and a funny story of how different my vocabulary is becoming. The word mindfulness is used a lot, and if you use it, it's great. I'm a writer, and I pick through words to make sure that what I'm putting on the page is what I mean to say. And if I use a word maybe, on a daily basis, that I really don't know like the underlying meaning of, but I kind of know what it is, I will look it up before I publish it. So the interesting word that I learned about mindfulness, and it was really cute. It was me watching Eckhart Tolle. I promise I'm going to learn how to say his name correctly. I always called him Eckhart, and then I heard him refer to himself as Eggart. So I want to be respectful, although he'd probably think this was hilarious. But he said, he was sitting there and he said he stopped using the word mindfulness because you don't want a full mind. You want to empty your mind in meditation, and especially when you're in the present, so that the universe, spirits, your higher self, clarity of thought, happiness, joy can flow through you, you know. So for a lot of people, it's a great word. They're not going to maybe be hung up on words like I am. You know, I've taken certain words out of my vocabulary. I think it'd be appropriate to, you know, say that, you know, there are victims in Australia and victims here and victims there, but I don't like the word anymore. I would choose another one. I'm not saying that they're not hurting and all that, but victim, the word victim to me now, I've carried around my whole life, and not just in pity parties. I could say I was a victim of childhood neglect, or, you know, whatever, and I still won't do it, you know, because it carries too much weight. It gets into your consciousness, and then it just lingers in the background, and it's like building up a huge toxic waste dump of doubt and negativity and towards yourself as you age, you know, because it's that word is used in so many different ways that I'd rather find a new one that doesn't have however many meanings. You know, sometimes you're using it in a good way, and sometimes you're accusing somebody of being, you know, acting like they're being a victim. So I just, you know, got rid of that word. It still creeps up, not for myself, but you know, talking about people in Australia right now and what they're dealing with. You know, I'd like to come up with some new words. So we shall see if I can invent some new words and get them out there into the consciousness. My hand's shaking because it's cold out here, and but I'm enjoying this so much. There's a surfer out there, and I can feel his energy. I love seeing these surfers out there. I don't know, you've probably seen him. Oh, there goes my thumb again. Catching a wave or two. Hopefully you can see him. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's Kelly's. You know what? I need to switch hands. Okay, that's why when I put my left hand up. Okay, I get it. Hold on. Let me adjust then. Okay. Towards the surfer as I sit here and just empty my mind. There he goes, catching a wave. Get it. He got it. And it's fun to watch them because they can't ride their surfboards all the way into the shore. I've seen one guy do it. That was pretty clever because it's, you know, the bottoms of their surfboards would hit the rocks. See how if you can see them, they stop at a certain point and then go back out, which is a lot different than, I don't know, I've never come out to a rocky area like this. I grew up in California, so I'm well acquainted with surfers, and I was going to learn to surf. I was a badass boogie boarder, might I say. Probably couldn't touch these surfers, but hey, I'm going with it. So it's fun to watch them and, you know, kind of relive my own childhood. My dad taught me some amazing things about boogie boarding and about the ocean, you know, that you watch for every seventh wave being the biggest, and you know, you kind of learn to navigate the sea that way. He taught me how to dive under waves. He taught me not to struggle if I got caught up in some kind of undertow, or you know, I got tossed around by a wave, because you just kind of go limp and let the water spit you out, or it's going to spit you out. Otherwise, you know, you're going to be flailing about, you know, losing energy and fighting this powerful ocean. So I want to say, I don't know, you know, I've been thinking a lot about something that happened over the weekend and at the end of last week. And, you know, I don't know that this will ever reach that person, but I just wanted to say to her that I'm going to say it on YouTube. She's fucking awesome without anything else having to make her awesome. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman who has the most tender heart, and I love her more every day. You know, I have to allow those who got hurt to come to me if they choose to do so. It's no longer, you know, it's not my decision. So that's what I'll say about that. Oh, he caught another wave. Yay! Let's watch him. Can you guys see him? Look at him walking on his surfboard like a... Oh, I'm just gonna walk along here and jump off. Oh. Okay, so I think I'm gonna shut down here in a minute. Let me walk up a little bit closer to the shore. Don't worry, I'm okay. Slipped on a big mossy rock, and the fat on my bum caught me, and I don't have one single little ouchie, so don't worry. I was trying to watch the camera so I didn't make you sick instead of watching where I was going. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to show you some, get closer to the water. There's my water slide rock. There she goes. Oh, God. If it wasn't so cold, I'd jump in the water right now and go play with her. You can actually walk out there and not get wet, though I think next time I would do that, I'd put my big old boots on. There comes a wave. Just watch this. It's just smoothly goes right over there, and on the other side, it really looks like a water slide. I wish I could get my camera out there. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that. right, everybody have a fabulous day. It's gorgeous out here. I'm gonna warm my hands up because I've lost both pairs of gloves. But I do have some thick pockets, and I'm gonna go do a little bit of rock hunting. See how long I can stay out here. You know, it's I don't know. It's somewhere around 7, and it is cold out here. It's in the low 30s. So we'll see how long I make it. All right, sending love, light, energy, and just letting everybody in Australia know that I am, my spirit is with you, and I'm sending you guys so much love. And I'm sending all my light worker friends and everybody else that I have known, and everybody since 1971. You're beautiful to me. I love you guys.